Hello everyone, welcome to the official One Accord YouTube channel. Glad you can join us here on our inaugural episode. I am Adam Boyer. I'm one of the 11 members of the musical Southern Gospel singing group we call One Accord. Today, I'm not even going to do a bunch of group introductions. We are a big Southern Gospel group, like I said. We are singing out of Lynchburg, Virginia, and today my goal is to show you basically how we do some recording. And we don't have anything released yet. We do some concerts right now in the area, but we've not actually released anything yet. But we are working on some different projects, working through licensing and to get the songs themselves, lyrics, tracks, all that done. Actually work on the recording. I'm still learning a bunch of editing stuff, so I kind of head up the group, but I'm also joined by Tim and Luke, who sing bass for us, Lainey, Doris, and Farah, who sing the higher soprano sort of parts for us, Rick and Matt, who are our baritone male tenor guys, and then Cassidy and Melody, I don't think I'm forgetting one, who are more of our alto range ladies. So today I want to show you here some recording. I've been doing some of the stuff that's pretty cool. It's called, the song I'm working on is called God's Building a Church by Gold City. A lot of Southern Gospel fans will know it. And so right now I got a track from Daywind, and I'm using their low track, and I'm using it with their track with background vocals. So you see here, I'm going to see if I can show you on the screen a little bit. Right here, down here, we have the background vocal track, or the track with background vocals, I should say. We have this right here. The background vocals consist of just the baritone and tenor part, and that's it. And so I've already recorded a lead part, which is higher up. God's building a church, like that. And so I'm going to go ahead right now and just record the bass part simply for fun. And so y'all can kind of see how it works, the edits I make, and the sound, kind of the cool sound I'll end up getting. And right off rip, it probably won't sound great. Right now I'm speaking to this lapel mic. I'm going to record and do this more of a studio mic right here. And so I might let you hear some of both, like kind of how it sounds with and without the effects and the track and everything. So it's just, there's a lot that goes into professionally recording music, and I don't know the half of it yet. I'm still an amateur at these things, but we're gonna go ahead and have some fun with it. So let's get into it. Microphone is muted. It won't be in a second. I'll unmute it as soon as I have to start singing. Like I said, not a real bass singer here. We're just gonna have some fun. I'm muting the microphone now. God's building a church on the rise. I'm singing here. I think my gain needs to come down a little bit, so we're going to turn the gain down. God's building a church. God's building a church that's going to march like a mighty army. God's building a church. It'll be water to a dry and barren land. God's building a church that's gonna rise from a valley of dead dry bones. Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. I was kind of out of breath there. I should have timed my breath a little better. God's building a church on the rise. It actually keys up here, so I think it'll be a little bit easier for me now. Here we go. God's building a church that's going to march like a mighty army. God's building a church. It'll be water to a dry and barren land. God's building a church that's going to rise from a valley of dead dry bones. Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. Sanctified, glorified, sanctified, glorified, sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. Windscreen is very important. It keeps the pops from happening in the microphone. Here comes the comeback. God's building a church that's going to march like a mighty army. Then God's building a church. It'll be water to a dry and barren God's building a church that's gonna rise from a valley of dead, dry bones.
Sanctified,
Glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. There we go. Okay, so recording is done. I'm going to do a little editing to it now, a few effects, and I'll actually try to show you here what I'm doing. And yeah, then we're going to see what we can get in sort of a, not a finished product, but a rough draft of the bass. So let me add a couple effects here. So we're in here in Adobe Audition. This right here is the bass track. As you see, is a little bit loud. So we're going to go ahead and add over here in presets. I have saved a preset called low tone / reverb / echo. And I'm going to check here. I think my studio reverb, yeah, it's up to about 38%, give or take. And then I've got the vocal enhancer on, which should be set to low, but I'm going to double check, and indeed it is. So we're set to low tone. So now we're going to play this and see what kind of sound we get. First thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to play for you what it sounded like, some of these bass parts, with just what you were hearing in the, or what you were not hearing actually, but what you would have heard if I had been playing the lapel mic instead of the track. When I was actually recording, I was playing the track, or what I record on Adobe. I wasn't actually recording. I was recording, but I wasn't playing when I recorded with this mic right here. I'm going to play that now so you can hear it. It sounds pretty rough right off rip if you're just listening through this mic, and then I'll compare that with some clips from Adobe. So watch this. This is pretty cool. I'm muting the microphone now. God's building a church on the rise. God's building a church that's gonna march like a mighty army. God's building a church. It'll be water to a dry and barren land. God's building a church that's gonna rise from a valley of dead, dry bones.
much too long the church has been an underdog to the feet of men. God's building a church on the rise. It's been trampled on in the heat of the fight, but the church is God's eternal bride. It's almost time for the church to fly. God's building a church. God's building a church. Let's go. God's building a church. It'll be water to a dry and barren land. God's building a church. Let's go and rise from the valley of dead. Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and light, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. On Calvary's tree it started there. He handed it down to the hands of men. God's building a church on the rise. Old Satan's about to run in fright as the saints of God in glorious might race across the enemy line with holy banners waving high. God's building a church that's gonna march like a mighty army. God's building a church. It'll be water to a dry and barren land. God's building a church that's gonna rise from the valley of dead, dry bones. Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church. It'll be sanctified, glorified, sanctified, glorified, sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine. God's building a church.
valley of very dry bones.
Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine, God's building a church. Sanctified, glorified, filled with the Holy Ghost power and might, purified with fire divine, God's building a church.
And there you go, that about does it. Obviously that's not ever going to make it onto an album recording. This was literally just me having fun, but I wanted to get on here. I thought it might be a fun way to introduce One Accord to the world. So again, follow us on Facebook. Facebook is where we're going to be most active, more than on YouTube or any other social media. So go to Facebook, follow us at One Accord. If you love traditional Southern gospel music, we're trying to bring a revival to the genre, singing the very greatest classics. So hope you enjoyed, and go ahead and subscribe to this channel while you're at it. And if there's any other songs you'd like to see us cover and have any other thoughts for us in general, like I said, introductory video, everything's on the table. Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.